What's up guys, my name is Andy. In this video, I need to replace the front oil seal here on my 289. I've got a small leak down there, so let's go through the various steps that it's gonna take to get that oil seal replaced. But real quick, before we take everything apart, let's take a look at the seal that we're gonna put in. This is a National Oil Seal number 2692, and this is the type of seal that can be installed from the front. You don't put this from the back, and on some 289 covers, you'll have to take the cover off, the timing cover, to get the seal to go in from the back. This one, I actually purposely have this style so that I can change it from the front if I ever run into a problem. I also have another one here. This is a Master Pro. It's also the same part number, that 2692, but I got it just in case I mess this up. Notice that the height of these two seals are not the same. The diameters are the same, the outside and the inside diameters are the same, but the thickness of this is not the same. So we're gonna go with this one first and make sure I do it right, but if I mess up, I've got something to fall back on. Before we can remove this harmonic balancer, we've got to pull this front pulley off and the belt off. We'll start by loosening the bolt that's holding the alternator in place, then we can pull the belt off. Now we can go after the bolts on the pulley. And just a gentle tap to remove it. Now we need to go after that bolt. It's going to take a 1-inch socket, and you might be able to use the bolts from the pulley to put in here to create a leverage point for you to break that bolt free. And to break this free, we want to go counterclockwise. There we go, just like that. Now we need to remove these screws so we can put the pulley in. And the pulley puller that we're going to use is just a standard one you can get at any parts store, and these are 3/8 16 pitch bolts that we're going to use the same bolt holes that we're holding on the front pulley. Now this is all tight. From here we just need to thread this in and it will pull the pulley off slowly. It might be hard at first depending on how long yours has been stuck on the car, but once you break it free it should just slide right off. You don't need to worry about the position of this. It doesn't need to be at top dead center because there's only one way for this harmonic balancer to go back on the car, so it doesn't matter which way the position of the engine was when you stopped. All right, let's pull this pulley off really quick. All right, one thing you want to do real quick while you're here is just inspect this rubber boot or whatever this piece is called. Connects this outer ring to this inner ring. If it's all cracked and damaged and gone, you're going to want to replace this. This one doesn't look too bad. So what we want to look at here is this surface. What we've got is we've got some rust and stuff in here. We don't want that, but that's okay because the seal doesn't ride there. You can see actually where the seal rides. And as I feel this, there's a little bit of I don't know if it's just some gunk on there, but you can kind of feel just the subtlest little lip right here. There's a kind of a ring you can see on the screen here. And that, I wonder if maybe there's something going on there and that's why I'm having that leak. But other than that, this thing looks pretty good. Well, I'm gonna chance it. This is, I mean, it's visible, but I can't even catch my fingernail on it. But I'm gonna go ahead and just run some Scotch-Brite over this. You know, basically take one of these pads and just kind of go along here and just clean up this surface and make it look happy. And then we can put it in. Again, you can see a groove here, but I can't really catch it with my fingernails, so that may be just superficial. So let's go after the seal that's in the card and get that out now. As you guys can see that oil pooling up there at the bottom of the timing cover? Was just slowly, just like getting one drip. Every time I drove somewhere, I'd get one drip, so I could tell that this front seal was bad. Other than that, it's time to pop this thing out of there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get a screwdriver behind that lip and see if we can pry that thing off. All right, so yeah, we damaged this thing. That's okay. That's part of the gig. I'm just gonna take a look inside here and just see if this seal is chewed up at all. It doesn't look bad at all. You know, on this side, the spring is still there, so that's important. We didn't lose that. There's nothing on here that's showing me, you know, it's possible I just didn't do it right when I put this together, but I'm not finding any telltale signs. You know, one thing, if the spring was missing, that'd be an easy one because there'd be nothing to hold the seal tight. This thing looks fine. Also, this stuff right here, I put some of that ultra black gasket maker stuff on here when I set that in there just to make sure that this was completely sealed. I know this red stuff kind of does the job, and with the new seal here, we don't, you know, we don't need it to put on there because this is nice and new, but I think we're fine. Let's go ahead and drive the new seal in there and we should be good to go. We're also going to want to clean that lip there on the timing cover, make sure it's nice and clean and ready to go before we put this new seal in. All right, I went ahead and got the seal started. I had to lift the car up and I spent some time, probably about half an hour, trying to get this thing to drive in. I used an old oil filter wrench to go around the seal so that I could use a hammer on that to drive that in. Now, this would be a lot easier if the timing cover was off the car, but because it's on the car, we have to, you know, this is how you would do it if you can't take that part off. So I got it started. I didn't show me how we get it started because I spent a long time doing that, but from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to just drive this on. And then once that's seated, then we can get the Harmonic Bouncer put back on. I forgot to mention, before you put the seal on, you need to rub some oil on the inside of this seal, this rubber lip on both edges of it, before you put this in the car, because it's a lot easier to do it. If you have to do it now, you could probably get some oil like on a flathead screwdriver and just lightly touch it in there, because your finger's not going to fit in there, but just something soft, maybe a piece of plastic that you won't lose in there, and then just put some oil on this seal before you put that Harmonic Bouncer on. All right, now we can go ahead and put this Harmonic Bouncer back on. I cleaned it up with that Scotch-Brite, and again, you can see grooves in here, but you can't really feel them with the finger, so that's fine. So just put a little bit of oil on this before you put it on there, and because this is keyed, it only goes one way, so you don't have to worry about timing. So let's go ahead and put this back on the car. And we kind of rotate it around, and you'll feel the key grab. There we go. And you can just push it on. Yeah, about that far. And then from here, we're going to use the crank bolt to kind of suck this thing in and drive it all the way home. All right, when you get done tightening this thing down, you'll know it'll stop tightening. It'll get to the point where you're going to have to start torquing that bolt to tighten it, so you'll know that it's bottomed out. We're also going to put those screws back in the front here to use a cheater bar so that we can set the torque on this main bearing bolt, or this crankshaft bolt. The book says that we need to do 70 to 90 foot-pounds, so we're going to do 80. There we go. That's 80 foot-pounds. And then from here, we just got to take these bolts back out because we got to put that pulley back on here and go ahead and put that back on, and then the belt, and then we'll be done. All right, that's it, guys. That's how you do a front seal on a 289 and also on the 302. This has the cover, I believe, of a 302 is what I put on there, so I could do that front seal. For some of the older 289s, the seal actually comes in from the backside of the timing cover, and you're going to have to take off the whole cover to get to it. But I intentionally did it this way so that I could if I ever needed to service that seal like I did, that's why I did that. Again, make sure you torque the main bolt here, the crank bolt, down to 80 foot-pounds. Go ahead and tighten the rest of this pulley stuff up, put the belt back on, and you're good to go. Guys, if you need to know, you could probably find something better than this. This is just an oil filter cap thing that I used to drive that on there because I didn't have this off the car. This measures 2 7/8 of an inch across. So that or a 3-inch diameter, something like this would work to drive that on there. If you start to drive it on crooked, take it off, restart. It may take a couple tries like it did for me. That's why I didn't film that. I might have said some stuff I probably shouldn't be saying, so it's a good thing I didn't film it. So anyways, that's it, guys. That's how you do that. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you subscribe, I appreciate it because it helps my channel out. And we'll see you in the next one.